Hello, my name is Lauren Smith, and today I will be giving a presentation on Ruth Ann Rehfeldt. As we can see, there is a picture of Ruth. That is what she looks like. A little bit of background information about Ruth. She completed her undergraduate degree from Puget Sound, and that was in psychology. She got her master's and doctoral degree from the University of Nevada. She currently is a professor at Southern Illinois University. So, Ruth has written a lot of different articles, and she has been the author or co-author of almost 100 different articles and book chapters. She also was the editor of the Psychological Record for 12 years. And throughout her career, she has been an editorial board member for multiple psychological journals. Today, I plan on focusing on 5 different articles. 2 of these articles fit under a personal category that I made. These 2 articles are more about Ruth and her personality and what her ideas are, versus the other 2 categories are more about research she's done and then an instructional article that she's done. But we'll talk about those later. Right now, we're going to focus on her personal articles. One of her personal articles that she wrote was about her career and her life as an academia and how that looked while she was also a woman, and what struggles she faced and what obstacles she overcame. She also gives a lot of advice for those who are trying to pursue a career. She also talks about other women in the field that really helped lift her up and that were great mentors. She also had mentors that were men, but just focusing kind of on her and how she worked through her career as a woman. And I thought that was really interesting and just a really good article to read. The other article that fits into this more personal category is when Ruth Annette was at the Psychological Record, and she was kind of giving the details about her being the new editor and what that was going to look like. She takes a look into the history of the field of psychology and also then where she hopes that the field will go in the future. So like I said before, this is the second kind of category of research-based articles that Ruth has either authored or been the co-author on. One of the research articles I picked that Ruth was an author, co-author on, was about a man with autism and an intellectual disability. That was, he was having too many conversations about very specific topics that maybe weren't interesting to other people. The topics include sirens, alarms, coughing, and different appointments, whether that be a doctor or dentist appointment. The article talked about how they use DRA, and they gave eye contact for conversations that were not about those specific topics, and that's how they tried to diminish him talking about those specific topics that might have come up too much. Another research-based article that Ruth was the author or co-author on was about graduate students and the impact of receiving points or not receiving points for assignments, and how that may or may not impact quiz performance. I thought this was interesting because I'm a graduate student, and I thought I could maybe learn something. And what I learned was that it's more likely that people are going to turn in assignments when points were given, but quiz scores were not affected. So the last kind of topic, subtopic that I picked to organize this presentation was about an instructional article that Ruth was the author of. This was a really interesting, kind of unique article. She gave step-by-step instructions on how to create an activity schedule using PowerPoint. This article may be a little dated, but I thought it was just really interesting that she would take time to kind of give a step-by-step instructions like that. And I think this would be really helpful for those who might struggle with technology. After reading it, you got a pretty clear idea of how to set up an activity schedule on PowerPoint. And I think that anybody, any age, any use of skills of technology could be able to read that and then make a activity schedule following the directions that she had. Next, I had some questions that I would want to ask Ruth if I ever got the chance to. And my questions are, what made you want to pursue a career in ABA? What piece of work that you wrote are you most proud of? What advice would you give to someone who is nervous about taking the BCBA exam? What has been the biggest obstacle in your career? And lastly, I would want to ask her who her favorite author was. So those were questions that I would want to know what she thinks of or what recommendation she could give. I think that Ruth is really important to the field of psychology and specifically the field of ABA. She's written and been an author on so many different articles and books and publications that she will be able to support future research based off of her research and her different articles and books that she's read and contributed to our field. I also think that it's important because she looks to the field and she is able to kind of see what the field could be. She's been around in the field for a while, and I think it's really important that she continues to be in the field and make different observations and continues to do research and support the field. I also really think it's important to point out that she supports and encourages women in the field. This can sometimes be rare, and sometimes people don't like to go out on a limb, especially in sciences, and kind of have those more personal articles. But I thought that was really cool, and that her article about supporting women and the women that have supported her could lead others to be involved or could have some really good advice for others looking to the field. And if they could take that advice, they could better the field as well. These are the resources that I used. And then here are also some picture resources for the pictures used in this presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.